Hello, my name's Glenn Sutherland, and I would like to give you a brief tour of my caboose room. We're standing in my den right now, but just behind this door is what we call our caboose room. I built it about 15 years ago after agreeing with my wife to two things. One was that the outside would look like house, not caboose, and secondly, that it would not block the view from our bedroom, which is in the back of the house, out to the driveway in the front, just so we could see who might be driving in. So that limited the length of the caboose to 20 feet. So with those parameters, I drew up some plans and arranged for a contractor to build the exterior shell. I based my design on Sierra Railway Caboose No, which is a wood caboose built in 1923, which just happens to be the same year I model in HO scale. The caboose resides at Railtown 1897 State Historic Park in Jamestown, California. It's about an hour from where I live, so I made arrangements to get inside to take measurements and photos of the interior to help with my design and construction. Unfortunately, partway through construction, I wanted to get inside a second time to just double check a couple things and get a couple measurements I had neglected the first time, but was told they had torn it down to the floor for reconstruction, so I had to go with what I had. Then when the contractor completed the shell, I went to work. Let's take a look. Let's start in the far end of the caboose, which is the bunk area. The design here is more freelance than prototypical. It's based on utilitarianism. It includes two twin beds, and above each bed is a cubby that includes a reading light, 4 outlets, and room for personal articles. I also made provisions, if I want to in the future, to add upper bunks, and so I've got the same cubbies up there as well. To get in the upper bunks, I've got some grab irons. It's kind of interesting on the grab irons. I looked on eBay for probably about a year with very little success, but I looked locally and quickly found a blacksmith who could make them, and he did so quickly and inexpensively. So that's a good lesson in shop locally. They're fully functional and very strong. In this end of the caboose, this is prototypical. The roof is a shallow peak but flat roofed. The caboose has proven to be a great guest room for people of all ages. I included as many railroady details as I could. I had the tongue and groove siding custom milled to make it the exact prototype width, and I pre-stained it to avoid exposing any unstained wood in case it shrunk. I attached it with black trim screws. The reproduction caboose lamps, which are on a dimmer, are from Schroeder's, a mail-order catalog featuring railroad-themed gifts. At the other end of the caboose is a very short section, just barely over 2 feet in fact, that has a wood stove on one side. I realize it's not an actual caboose stove, but it really sets the mood, I think. On the other side is a floor-to-ceiling cabinet that's very handy for files and things like that. And up on the wall are a series of coat hooks actually made out of railroad spikes. Of course, the heart and soul of the caboose is the cupola, which I made as close to the prototype as I possibly could. The only deviation that I'm aware of is that I had to make the aisle wider than the real caboose. In the cupola, the ceiling, unlike the other parts, is curved. And that was kind of an interesting construction project, but it came out as well as I was hoping. Let's climb up into the cupola and take a closer look. The 4 benches in the cupola, like everything else, were based on the photos that I took in the real caboose. I'm not sure if the real ones were like this, but I made the seats so they would fold up and we could use the inside of the benches for storage. The caboose has proven to be a great place for the grandkids to come up and read a book. We put can lights above just to provide adequate light for that. But also Kathy and I will come up here and Maybe have a cup of coffee in the morning or a glass of wine before dinner. Like the real caboose, the area under the cupola floor on both sides is enclosed, and that's also where there was a built-in ladder on each side. I'm not sure what this open area actually was for, but in my case it proved very handy because that's where I was able to put the heating and air conditioning unit for the caboose. I've also made this into storage. Under the cupola there's a ton of space on each side. On this side we have actually 40 folding chairs, and on the other side we have all of our suitcases. I even put storage in this little area here. This is all configured like the prototype. These are over 3 feet deep, so it's a great place to put wrapping paper and blueprints and HO scale strip wood. It was a lot of fun to research and build the caboose, and it's proven to be a very useful addition to our home. Thanks for visiting.